The first
Yep.
one is about purpose because you strike me as someone who really did their job diligently. You did your best when you were at work, you enjoyed it. Yes, there was a stress component that obviously you could kind of feel your shoulders go off when all of a sudden you didn't have to do some of these other tasks. But in terms of purpose, do you find, and I know you're new, so that's why I want to do an interview with you in a year from now, but do you find yourself ever thinking about, I don't have that same purpose now, and so I don't really have goals, so to speak, and deadlines as much. So I think I might miss that, but I'm going to worry about that later in retirement. Do you go, I'm not worrying about that at all? How do you look at purpose?
So that is a really, I'm glad you asked about purpose. And, you had mentioned that that might come up, and I'd been thinking a lot about that word purpose. And I struggled with it because I'm like, well, what is my purpose? Um, I realized that maybe the word isn't right for the way I'm thinking about it because it's not, I was never in my entire working career, I was never, if you asked me what I was, I think I mentioned it before, I'd tell you I was a runner before I tell you I was a director of technology or I was this or that.
Mhm.
I'm a husband, I'm a parent, I'm a runner, I'm a friend. The job I have is a job, and that's the thing I do.
Mhm.
And I never defined myself by the job. I tried to do the job as best I could, for all the reasons that you'd want to do that, but I never defined myself by it. So when I told people I was retiring, what I would hear a lot back from people is, "What are you going to do?" They would think that I need to do something that is meaningful because they're trying to contextualize it for themselves. I had a buddy who said, "Well, you could come help me on this like business thing." I'm like, "Okay, well, explain it to me a little bit." And I said, "Man, that sounds like work." I'm not trying. I told people, I'm like, if I am fortunate that if you ever see me working again, it is because you're looking at a guy who wants to work and not because he has to work. At this point, I want to get to the point where all of this feeling that I have now, the honeymoon period, as they call it, if I ever get out of the honeymoon period, I'll know it's coming. I'll see that light at the end of the tunnel, and I'll start trying to figure out a way to move to a different track. Um, so, in terms of purpose, my bigger purpose hasn't changed at all. I'm still who I was 2 months ago, and the things that motivate me in life haven't changed. That's, you know, husband, parent, friend, runner. That's maybe runner slash walker now, but those things haven't really changed. And if I get to the point where the days start becoming boring, there are things I can do. There are volunteer opportunities all over the place, but I didn't want to jump into a lot of stuff right off the bat and miss something otherwise. I would tell people all the time, I don't know what's going to happen. I am as curious as anybody is because when I don't have kind of the constraints of a 9 to 5 job, what is that going to allow my mind to do? So I'm going to take some time to kind of see what happens. I've got some of the bigger pictures. Like I said, I'm not worried about the day to day. So I'm going to just let things happen for a bit and see where it goes. I may end up building a better mousetrap. I might say the mousetrap is just fine and I can just live with the one that we've got.